Oh, I know.
I can hear it.
Professional. It's a not a Monday. It's a Tuesday.
Yeah, day off from Monday. What the hell? Moon Day.
Tuesday. Well, yesterday was it's a holiday. Yesterday it was a holiday.
Yeah, I didn't even know that. I had no idea. I was like, wait, it's a holiday? Oh, well, shit, that's right.
The biggest problem with the Martin Luther King holiday is not every company celebrates it. Mostly the schools celebrates it. The states, the federal.
Yeah.
A lot of companies don't celebrate it, so it's like a holiday, but it's really kind of not. But since the wife had it off, kids have no school, I said, I'm taking the day off. We'll just move the show till Tuesday. We'll have a good time, and then Wednesday we're going to be talking about some UFOs, close encounters of the Gypsy Road kind, and have a good time. And we're going to be talking, today's awesome, actually. Today's awesome because
yes. Quite awesome.
Because if people haven't read the title, I mean, Paranormal Effect, the Monopoly Man, What Happened to My Monocle, Part 2. Now, some of you out there are probably wondering, Part 2, was there like a Part 1? Well, yeah, I'm doing a series on podcast, and I'm taking ME Effect, Paranormal Effect, and I'm breaking it down one by one, individually, and not just breaking it down, Dr. Wu, not like breaking it down. I mean, like finding the origin, like how did this company even started? So trying to find like if there's clues, if it's real or not, and breaking it down. And what I did was, since it did very well on podcasts, I wanted to put on YouTube, and of course, since it was only the audio, I just added pictures, nothing fancy, just the words on some articles that I found when the monopoly was started, just to do it and talk about it, and
just to play around. It's just to play around.
Sometimes people are so desperate in finding like what they call residue that you kind of forget to break it down from the original, the origin. Where did this even come from? Where did the game start? Is there something there? Is there something strange about the game even in itself? Okay, I mean, the Monocle Man. And the best thing that has happened to me actually was that I got to see a lot of people's comments, right? I had to delete a few because people's comments kind of expresses to you on what's the climate like, kind of out there. And one of the things that I've learned from all the comments is much of a weird field that we're talking into. We talk Bigfoots, UFOs, we talk paranormal, we talk about everything. Wormhole, time loops, quantum jumps. I don't care. We're going to talk about it, right? We're going to talk about it. And one of the things you got to have when you talk about this is you have to have an open mind. And a lot of things I've seen in the comments are, I don't know what happened, Bob, in the last 3 years, when you started researching the ME effects. 2016 to 17, we did a couple shows. You were talking to a few people online, and there was a sense of everybody researching for fun, having a good time, and everybody everybody had their part to bring in some information, some points. But now it seems like it's cut and dry for some people now. It's like it either is or it's not. Bob, you could bring this, but you know what? You ain't gonna change my mind. And we're not trying to change people's mind. It's like researching it in a different way. Now, what does it say here? Paranormal effects is what it is. All paranormal effect is, people, is in the paranormal world, you investigate every ghost hunt. You investigate with EMFs. You investigate on not just a house is haunted. Okay, let me break this down and make it easy. So, Bob, there's a haunted house. Now, before you and I go research to go in there and try to find evidence of the haunted house, Bob would do like research on the house itself. Who owned it? What happened there? What's the ground? What's the history of this haunted house before you even go in there? Now, who died in the house? Who are the names? So Mandela effects has became a word where top 40 hits. These are the facts. You believe it. And people stop forgetting to research it from the origins, like a paranormal. Like you research the whole land before you even go into the house.
Yeah.
So you kind of know what kind of questions to ask. So that's why I call it the paranormal effect. It's investigating it from the ground up. That's basically simple. That's simple. Does that make sense, Bob? Actually, it from the ground up.
Besides, a lot of cool things involved with it. I mean, I always that's what I do. I mean, I'll see something that's what's called it's called a Mandela effect and a paranormal effect, whatever I call it. I see in a continuity error, and I'm like, okay, let me do some research into it itself and see what's inside of it. I want to see what's in there. I mean, just saying it is one thing. And go, oh my God, but actually doing the detailed work of what's inside of it.
Yeah.
What's the weird shit that's in it? There's people involved. There's actual people involved in it. Because you got to look at the history. Why did it change? For what reason? What signed? What is it? Is it a code? Is it something we should fucking really go into detail about? Yeah. Lots of notes.
No, there is.
Yeah.
Because if you look at it this way too, say what we're going to talk about is due to a time travel. Well, if it was, then that's easy, right? There's no investigation. Time travel changed it, boom. And then some people say, yeah, but a lot of things would change. Well, if it changed, you wouldn't even know. I mean, we could have had 20 changes yesterday. Technically, in theory, we wouldn't know. Maybe some of the things we are remembering differently could be the glitch in the time travel. That's an easy answer. But if you take the time travel out, say it's spiritual, say it's something else, I don't know, then you have to ask yourself, well, then there's a reason. Then you got to look for a code or a clue because something just doesn't change for the hell of it. If you take out time travel, if there's no time travel involved, Bob, everything else, it has to be a reason. So
gotta be a reason.
Say there is a God in Jesus, right? God and Jesus were playing cards, smoking a cigar, drinking beer. Hey, I'm going to put glasses on the Monopoly guy. If he did that, right? He did that for a reason to find a clue. Yeah. I mean, or otherwise, he's no offense, people. God is no more than an alcoholic like everybody else. If he just said, fuck it, I'm going to do this change for the hell of it. There has to be clues if it's real. Now, the Monopoly is interesting because Monopoly is a very interesting thing, and I wanted to research it from the beginning because if you do a top 10 Mandela effect show, Monopoly's the mascot, Rick. Yeah. What's his name again? I forgot.
Pennybags.
Pennybags. Okay, Rick Uncle Pennybags. All right. Rick.
Or Mr. Monopoly, according to the new timeline in 1999, has changed to Mr. Monopoly.
Well, you know, and if you're going to talk about him, you have to go back from the beginning, like, you know, because why, if it's spiritual, if it's not a time travel, why would you put glasses, a monocle on them? Or, Bob, it is possible. It could be a false memory too.
Could be. It's not for me, but yep.
You know, one of the things that I did in my video, people were flashing me, were like, not harassing, but when I said in the video, I said, I remember him with the glasses. I do. I remember him. But it doesn't mean it was a change for me. I remember it. Now, what I mentioned in my video is when I'm looking at the timeline, right? Now, if I was playing Monopoly game, it was probably in the 80s. When I was in my teen years. I was in the 80s. Now, in the teen years, nobody really had cable TV. I want people to understand that. There's only like 4 or 5 channels on TV. Only 5% of the public had TV, like cable TV during that time. You had to have money to have cable TV. So we only had 5 to 6 channels. And one of the shows that I watched way before I played Monopoly was the Batman series.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I watched the Batman TV series. Okay. Now, hold on a second. And I brought this up in my video, and this is one of the main things that got people like angry at me. TV Hold on. Hold on a second. Give me a second. I'm gonna do a share screen, but I wanted to bring something up if I could find it. You know, I always had everything here, but then all of a sudden things disappeared. Wow. Maybe we're having a Mandela effect right here. Things are like they were here and then they're not here anymore.
Must be a fucking shift.
Yeah. Okay.
A real shift.
Now this upset a lot of people, and you know what? I'm sorry that I hurt their little vaginas. But okay. Now I watched the Batman before I ever even played the game. So I already had an image of the Penguin from the TV series wearing a monocle glass and a hat. Now I'm not saying this is the reason why Uncle Rick Pennybags that's you know, this is my false memory, but I had to put a perspective on, you got to try to debunk every little thing that leads up to why, if there's a change. And if you come up with nothing, then you know what, Bob? You might have a real effect for you. And also, Bob, this is what you said, and this is what a lot of you said in the community back in the 2016, 17, 18.
Yeah.
Mandela effects, people wake up to the ME effects at different times in their life. So, all because you don't see something now, technically in theory, it doesn't mean you're going to see the change until maybe tomorrow or next year, right? You said that people see things at different times. So
when they're supposed to.
With that thought, then how can anybody even say, Eric, you're wrong, when maybe I never woke up to this one yet? Maybe, you know, or shouldn't you do your research to try to see maybe why you have this memory?
Yeah.
People say, well, the Batman. No, guys, listen. I played Batman way before I played a Monopoly game. And you know what? And it wasn't like I played Monopoly game every single day, because one thing that I learned about playing Monopoly is everybody cheats.
Yeah.
Whoever the banker cheats. I wasn't looking at the mascot. I was like, I want to be like that mascot. You know, I didn't care about the mascot. I cared that Bob was cheating. Bob was handing out extra money to people. So people were losing. Somehow their money wasn't gone.
Yeah, I teamed up on people. I collabed underneath the table, and I passed notes back and forth, and we took people out. We did a Donald Trump. We took everybody out, like, you know, on their real estate.
So Bob, why do people think on the Monopoly game, why do people think they're all experts and they know everything about the change of the game, when in reality, how many times have you really played the game? Now, I'm sure there's some fanatics that play it every day, but really, did somebody really play Monopoly every day? Or were you like me, that you got tired of playing it because everybody was cheating and it took too long?
I know from my notes from anthropology that the majority, no offense to people because I'm included in this bracket, but the majority of people with the so-called Mandela effect are all nerds, really big-ass fucking nerds. And you yourself, Eric, you're a huge nerd. And so you have a lot of Star Wars shit. Yeah. And like, you know, certain things that are nerdish. I'm what they call it. I'm a nerd too, guys. But he's got a lot of, I mean, so you would know everything about Star Wars. And because a lot of people with the Mandela effect usually had like one parent, they had shitty ass fucking lives. They were stuck at their babysitters for days on end, or they're alone. They're a loner person in the house with a parent that's a drunk or something bad. They end up playing video games or role-playing games or playing board games. And, you know, they did a lot of the little weird things that normal people didn't do, that had money and normal lives and went on vacations to fucking like France and shit. They were stuck at their house playing games. So when I hear people talk about it with the effect that I know have the effect and they know about a game, I'm like, you know what? I believe you.
Yeah.
Because you were a nerd. You sat there and played that video game. You played that dice game for probably days on end. I believe you. A lot of things with this effect when it comes to games, comics, especially comic books, science fiction movies, certain sci-fi things that a nerd would know, I believe them. A lot of Mandela effects with the nerd stuff. It's for the people that were stuck at their house. They didn't go anywhere. Kind of nerdy. Again, everybody's a fucking nerd. You, Eric, you're a huge nerd. Nobody can debate you on some Star Wars. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's what I've been saying, that some effects are so hard to try to dissect because they were before our time. Now let's go with the history of Monopoly. So if anybody, we're gonna start this with the history of Monopoly. Okay. Now, if you didn't watch my video or listen to my podcast about it, the game was invented in 1933. Now there's two things that I have learned in the last 3-4 years talking to Bob and talking to a lot of people, that there's two numbers that I've heard the most out of everybody that has the most maybe codes or some weird surrounding. A number 33 and a 13.
Yeah.
There's other numbers. So right off the bat,
those guys are shills. You said 33. Fuck off. I was a Freemason.
Yeah, I mean, so right off the bat, Bob, this game was invented in 1933. So right there, you have your 33.
Yep.
The game was invented by a guy named Charles Darrow. He was from Philadelphia, which if Philadelphia has a meaning for somebody.
Philadelphia, yeah,
could be. Is there a connection there? I don't know. But then the game was sold to Parker Brothers in 1935. And then now Hasbro owns the company now. Now the original pieces in this game, just so everybody knows, is there's an iron, a purse, a lantern, a race car, thimble, shoe, top hat, battleship, cannon, and a rocking horse. And also, let me pull up. Hold on, original Monopoly board game, 1933. Just so I know it's in my thumbnail. It is in my thumbnail, but let me share this picture just so everybody gets an idea, because you kind of see my thumbnail right here that we're on. But let me share the screen.
Yeah.
Share the screen and give people a better picture. Okay, so right here, that Monopoly game you see right here, Bob, that's the original board game. Now, the original mascot was, you can see here, was just some guy running.
Yeah.
They're running with money, with no hat, and no glasses. There's no hat or glasses. So, and one of the questions, Bob, I wanted to ask you, before we get even deeper, before we even start, and somebody actually in the chat actually has the exact same question that maybe you know the answer, I don't know. Why do you think the first pieces was an iron, a purse, a lantern, race car, thimble, shoe, top hat, battleship, cannon, and a rocking horse? Is there any symbols that was surrounded in 1933 for those pieces?
Yeah, give me a big picture.
Oh, those pieces?
Yeah, show me. Give me a big picture.
Hold on. 1933 Monopoly, original Monopoly pieces.
Yeah.
Let me see. 9 original. The history of.
Ooh.
Can you see it?
I don't remember the cannon. It wasn't no cannon for me.
Well, if it's original piece, now remember that's 1933.
I'd be 33. Okay. Then I don't know no cannon. So
pieces change, and maybe somebody said, "Hey, the cannons represent too much of weapons."
Is there a cannon now? Put it in 2021. What the pieces in 2021?
let's see. What are the Monopoly pieces in 2021? Let's see. New Monopoly tokens.
Here we go.
Now you got a dinosaur. A penguin. Is that a sign?
Dinosaur.
A penguin, Bob. There's a cat.
Yeah, they've changed it completely. Well, the originals were from a bracelet. They were from a bracelet. Those are the new pieces. The original was from a bracelet. The dude had a bracelet with all those pieces on his bracelet, so he used it from the whatever brothers. The guy had a fucking bracelet, so they used the pieces from a it was a throw together. They got it off somebody else. It was from a bracelet.
But one of the things you also got to remember now.
What the fuck?
But there's one thing you also got to remember now. Now you can buy a Monopoly that's a Disney Monopoly, an Xbox Monopoly. Now there's different themes of the Monopoly game now that has different pieces to fit that theme. Like, look, there's an Xbox here. There's a McDonald's food there. There's
what's the stock ones? What's the stock? Anybody know the stock ones? Like, was it in the 80s?
See, look, there's even a Mandalorian one now.
Yeah, I had a University of Washington one because I used to play when I was going to UW. When I was going to UW University. Oh, fuck no. College, man. He's wasted his time. Bullshit. That makes me so fucking smart on the Mandela effect shit. I know what's fucking changed because I'm smart and handsome. But on the 80s, dude, what was the 80s one?
I was just looking at all these newer ones. Monopoly Junior, Monopoly this. Now they got they even got electronic Monopoly now. Monopoly game in the 80s. I'm sure that in the 80s was just original.
Yeah, the Monopoly and the game pieces
from the 80s.
Even the 70s. I'm curious what the game pieces were, how they evolved.
In the 80s, looks like just like the normal Monopoly game that we all know.
What about the game pieces, the little pieces? That's just the board.
Yeah, this is the board. Monopoly game from the 80s. Monopoly game pieces. Yeah, you still have the.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, these Monopoly game pieces, 1970s. So this is actually from the 70s. So those are the pieces.
So this was 70s.
Yeah.
Okay. So those are we can make them bigger. I want to see what those are. I want to see if there's they're all exactly how I remember them. I mean, guys, for some reason, maybe some of you guys might be like, oh, okay, let me take a look at these and see if you remember something, or they've always been there. Maybe they've always been there, some of these things. I'm breaking this motherfucker down. I want to know what the hell. I don't remember the fucking cannon. I'm going to be honest with you. How long has that cannon been there? I have no idea.
Somebody said try 1984. I'll try 1984.
Yeah, good call.
I'll try 1984.
Yeah, this is for everybody, guys. We're doing a group effort here. That's not me and Eric here. Everyone take a look at these pieces. Have a conversation in the sidebar. See what you think.
Well, this is how you're supposed to break it down. This is what you're supposed to do. Right here.
Okay, let's see what we got going on there.
I know, so small. Hold on.
Oh, sometimes if you click it, it'll take you to a bigger site, and then you can.
Yeah, it took me to a bigger site, but it's still small. Hold on.
Save as, and then it'll make a little picture. Then you can bring up the picture.
Yeah. Let me see here. Hold on.
I'll
have to pull the picture out, and I'm gonna have to force the image to be bigger.
Yeah, I can still see that cannon. It looks like I don't remember no fucking cannon, man. There was no cannon. Anybody have a cannon? You know why I know there's no cannon? Because I would have picked it because it's badass. I want the cannon. Nobody ever fucking fought over no cannon. So I want to know what the history of that cannon is.
That is weird. It's 1933. It is closer to when they used cannons.
Yeah, they did back in the 1800s. You know, I mean, they did. They had ammunition after a certain point during World War One. They actually had shelled ammunitions. They stopped using cannons, but yeah, cannon, big ass cannon. Okay, 1800s. Okay.
Oh, here we go. I got so many tabs up. Everything is running slower. Hold on. I'm going to adjust this size to a lot bigger.
Yeah, let's see. I'm going to see these pictures.
Let me see here. Let me go. Move it to 1400.
I like Disney Pop. My favorite piece was putting the dog inside the boot. Yeah, I used to like the boot. I used to pick the boot. Never picked the dog. I like the thimble. I like the thimble and I like the boot. But why didn't you pick the cannon, Fizzy Poop? You should have got the cannon. Nobody got the cannon?
You know, you are right. I really don't remember too much.
I want to know how long that cannon's been there. Anybody talk about the cannon in the community? Oh, that's cool. Yeah. I want to see all them damn pieces now. I want to see what. I mean, we're breaking it down piece by piece.
Okay, sending it to myself. Here we go.
Look at the cannon. Oh, all of them.
That's perfect.
The cannon.
Hold on. I got a lot.
Is it talks about the Bible and then all the cannons that were put together to make it.
Oh, no, that's not the one. Hold on. My fault.
It's the code for the cannon.
Here we go.
Okay. It could have looked different. Yeah, you're right. Exactly. Thank you for saying that. Okay, so the guy on the horse, the cowboy, that was the cowboy on the horse, of course, right? The cowboy. Anybody ever remember the cowboy on the horse? There's the cannon, the choo-choo train, the top hat, the dog, the wheelbarrow, the sports car, the battleship, and anybody, you guys take a look at these.
Fizzy Pop says our set had two cannons. One from
no shit. Ooh, you must have been local. I got no cannons in mine. Local. Got the local cannons going on here. Cool. Not me, man. I would have known a cannon. Believe me, I would have known a cannon. Then again, I'm all fucked up, man. I'm from a different place.
Can't spell today. Too much coffee. Don't remember the ship. I remember the. No, that's hard because Battleship. Because the game Battleship, there's a ship in my mind.
Cannon. Okay, I'm gonna do again, guys. I'm not an expert. I didn't play this fucking game that often. I played it in college.
Just say Cannon was always my favorite. Cannon was my favorite.
Cannon. Good.
You were young.
Yeah. Again, this we're all just having that discussion. Someone's got a little bit of thing about the battleship. Battleship's a little bit weird. I got to look at my notes. Let's see. Okay, yeah. So when I was doing research, I found out different countries have different things, Eric. So different countries will have different things. So I have noticed, and I'm just saying this, and thank you for Tony for jumping in there.
I gotta correct this from Fizzy Pop. Just road. Your parents probably hid the cannon because they don't trust you with guns. Now,
probably not.
Fizzy Pop, if you know my family, we didn't have a mom growing up. We had a father. We were a group of hunters. My father could give a shit what's in that game. He doesn't hit nothing. My father had porno magazine in his drawer.
Yeah, but she likes the cannon. She likes the guns. I can tell you right now. Anyway, so different countries did have different pieces. So I want to make sure. So probably another country would have the cannon. I know Tony's Canadian, so maybe that just shows that Canada might have the cannons. And America didn't have the cannons.
Kurt is right. I wanted the thimble since everyone had picked the race car first. That is true because everybody did pick the race car first.
Everybody wanted the race car or the thimble.
The thimble was the one that nobody wanted.
But so we're discussing anybody with the, now again, don't ask me now, anybody else with the battleship. Another one as cool as fuck as the battleship. Now I would have picked the cannon. I would have picked the battleship because it's badass.
Stoner, where is he at? Maybe maybe there's a Scooby-Doo board game Monopoly, and then maybe they have Shaggy in there. So there's the stoner. Maybe, I don't know. Yeah.
So I know Thimble 100%, no doubt. The iron 100%, the boot 100%. I mean, I could go down the thing. I'm shady on the cannon, and I'm shady on the battleship. It doesn't mean it wasn't there, guys. I'm not screaming Mandela effect. I just weird that there's the war stuff in there.
So let's go a little bit further into the Monopoly game. Okay, so when he sold it, he was trying to sell it to Parker Brothers before 1935, but apparently it was rejected for 52 fundamental errors, including the game's length, theme, and complexity. And that's interesting. 52 fundamental errors. That might not be a big deal or nothing, but
yeah,
it makes you think, right? What were the 52 fundamental errors that couldn't get the game sold? Was there an original mascot maybe in the beginning that the guy drew a monocle and maybe at the time Parker Brothers didn't like it? I mean, I don't know. I'm just...
Well, the monocle guy is supposed to be, I wrote his name down. It's J.B. Morgan. Morgan, whatever. Morgan.
We're going to get to that part. We're going to get to that part when I get to when the monocle guy was created. We're going to get to that part. Now, okay, so, and it's just interesting to me. I know most people are like, why do you care about that? Because they knew the number, why it was rejected, 52. They could have just said, for fundamental reasons, they didn't want it until now because of the 52. So now, and then when the game was first licensed, the city, it wasn't Atlantic City. It was actually the city of London was the setting of the first licensed Monopoly game. Title, now the title Atlantic City. Now think about this, Bob. I tried to look up. I'm going to type it again. I was trying to look up. What did the London game look like? Because maybe
that's what we're talking about. The other pieces, because I've seen, in my opinion, with the Mandela effect, whatever you guys want to fucking call this stupid thing, there has been a fluctuation. For me, and I worked at 3 different museums, so I'm gonna tell you right up that I fucking know. There's a large European influence in the United States that was never fucking there. The fact that they wore Prussian war helmets with a spike in the West. No, soldiers did not have fucking Prussian helmets. Now, same thing with a lot of influence of certain things that could be in games from a European influence over the United States now. So let's see what they had in London. What's the London pieces? What's the London board look like? What did that look like?
That's the problem. When you look up, they released 2.
Yeah.
You look up 1936. The one in 1936 that I can only find is the one of Atlantic City because you got the boardwalk, you got Park Place. The one for London, I mean, you can't find it, and I'm wondering whoever owns a London board game. First of all, it's probably worth a lot of money because they didn't make a lot of it, and maybe in that version there could be a Monopoly character mascot that had a monocle glasses. I'm guessing.
You said they made a London board. They made a London board?
Yes.
I've never heard of this, so I don't know.
Yes. So the first city that they built 2 cities in the same year. But the first one that came out was London, and then it went to Atlantic City. But you can't find pictures of the London board game.
What? Why the hell would they so they sold it in England first?
No, they sold it to Parker Brothers, but Parker Brothers has rights in all around the world. So
okay,
think about it.
Monopoly in London.
If you ask percentage of people, more people will know London over Atlantic City. Unless you get New York City. New York City, you can see New York can maybe be bigger than London.
So they had like Big Ben and all these little weird London things.
But maybe they decided that for America, that people don't want to see a London on there. They want to see an American city.
Okay. But they were manufactured in the States, right?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So they're manufactured in the States and they're distributed to London. And then after London, they're distributed to where? Chicago?
Now, in the 1980, there was an Italian version of the game.
Everybody had a version of the game by that time. I just wanted to know the original board.
Early 80s, there weren't a lot of different. There was just Monopoly. So it's very rare when they did. Not like now, but here's a picture of a. Is this it? No. Hold on, wrong one. I'm sorry. That's the wrong one. There. Let me pull this up. Original London. Now, this is Italy. In 1980, Italian version of the famous board game Monopoly. Now, remember, it's rare that they were doing this in the 80s. This didn't really, it was like the 90s and the zeros. Now that any new big hit movie comes out, I'm sure there's an Avenger Monopoly game now.
Yeah, well, I mean, in the 80s, every town probably had their own version and their own streets and shit by that time. 80s was the time when games were just everybody sat in front of the TV and watched Saturday morning cartoons. That's when,
Here's a vintage board before 1940 game board pieces, cards, money. So this picture here is before 1940. And this is, of course, and remember, they developed the mascot that we're going to get into in a second, but the cover was still a man with no glass and no hat.
Oh, really? Okay, that's what it says. I mean, that's the back history for it now. I always say that every time there's a change, there's a back history to it.
Yeah, that's what we're doing. We're dissecting the history. Now, of course, these are 64 tokens, 8 categories. So this is...
There we go. All the fucking tokens. Click that guy big. Is it possible? All them tokens, man. Because they're no good if I can't see the little box.
I know. God dang it. I got so many tabs up. It's just spinning in a circle now. I can't even do anything.
Somebody in the tab says they've got the Queen of Swords says they have a 1935 Monopoly game. This is the person we need to be asking questions to. Tell us about the game.
There we go. Let's see here.
Four
different. I'll get a bigger one. Wait, hold on. Let me do this. Let me pull this game out like the way I had to do the other one. Let me pull it out.
Yeah. Look at all the tokens.
So, oh shit.
There's one there.
Where?
Obviously, they got posters of it. I mean, shit. That explains why people aren't seeing certain ones. It was probably there's multiple different things there. Wow.
Yeah, hold on. Computer's running smooth now. How to get rid of some of the, it's in here. Okay, good. Okay. So okay. I'm gonna share. I'm gonna take this one off. I'm gonna share the bigger picture. So
there it is. What the fuck? Look at all these cool tokens. Different animals. Okay. All right. Cool. Well, that explains that. Okay. So, okay. Cool. They got planes. They've got...
yeah. And one of the things I was so interested in looking at the tokens because I was trying to find, hey, there is a hat. There's the hat. There's a fashion hat, and there's a cowboy hat. They probably got that off of me. But
The cowboy hat. That's right. It was a cowboy hat. Yeah.
One of the things I was always trying to look for is, has there ever been a monocle piece?
Oh, I don't think it'd be a monocle piece. That's a good question, though.
Oh, give me 1 second. I think.
Yeah.
I heard something. Hold on. I'll be right there. Look.
So
I'm traveling.
That debunks the idea that people see different tokens, because you could see here there's multiple tokens with the game. So you could not see a token and have another token and go, well, I don't remember that token. But there they all are. Multiple different tokens. I don't see a monocle piece, though, but this is obviously modern. Very good. Very good.
Okay. I'm back. Ooh. I had to do the magic of sneaking behind the screen.
The duck. The strong arm. Wow. Phone.
Yeah.
So these are tokens that people probably remember.
Now, so let's go further back now. Okay, now the guy who we're talking about the mascot, Rick Uncle Pennybags. Where did the Rick Uncle Pennybags came down? Okay, there's a guy named Dan Fox. Okay.
Yeah.
Dan Fox, the character initially appeared on the first game produced in 1936. Now it wasn't on all the wasn't on all the covers yet, but the character was created by Dan Fox. And why this is so interesting is Dan Fox, nobody even knew who really drew the first character until 2013. There's your 13.
13.
The identity of the designer of the character, artist Dan Fox, was unknown until 2013, when a former Parker Brothers executive, Philip Urbanes, was contacted by one of Fox's grandchildren. His age is presumed to be between 60 and 80 years old. Of course, well, if he invented the game in 1936, who knows? He might have been 20 or 30. Who knows his age? Now the question then you have to ask yourself, why was Dan Fox hidden? Why wasn't his name on the guy who created usually if you create a character on a show, at the end of the show on TV, whatever, you get your name credit. This guy never had his name credit for none of it.
Yeah. So, remember what Fox is. You know what Fox is, right?
What?
FOX. Anybody in the sidebar, can you please help me out with Fox? FOX. Anybody in this? I'll give you guys a second. Fox. FOX. Think about it. Do your alphabet. A1, B2, C3. Kind of do your Fox. See what that number you come up with. 666. Thank you, Tony. Yes, Tony, you got it. It's 666.
Okay.
Fox is 6. Now, Dan Fox is 666. Now, I'm just throwing idle bullshit talk out. Also, there's a new philosophy going on because they found a new parchment that's older than the parchment they have. The original parchment that had 666 is now it's saying 616. So it's no longer 666 in the Bible. Maybe it's translation error to 616.
Game was finished.
13.
1933. You have your 33. He wasn't known until 2013. You have your 13.
Yeah.
Nice.
661.
If this is real, then there's clues right there. I mean, there's clues.
Yeah.
Now, let's see here. Now, this is where now we know when the game was invented, when it was sold, who owns it. There was a board game that was first as London that you can't find no more. I wonder why. What was the game pieces in that board game? What was there a mascot with a monocle that took the monocle off, and then it was Atlantic City? Because listen, companies are corrupted.
Yeah.
Say this guy invented the character and had a monocle on him, and if there's a drawing, people had a drawing of him. But Parker Brothers we don't want to pay this guy a percentage for every board game with this with this mascot. So they removed the glasses. Why is that important? If they remove something, then he doesn't have rights to it.
Yeah, true.
Keep it. Or somebody, let me share this screen because let me share. I actually did. I did a poll on this, okay, and because I was curious what people think, and now out of 30 votes, 57% says they do remember him wearing a monocle.
Okay.
17% says no. 13% says I can't remember, but 13% says yes, I remember him, but I know it's a false memory. Okay, yeah. But one of the person who sent me a message said, all we know is the company itself made up the theory about the monocle so people could buy more board games.
True. That's actually fucking true.
That the game is about making money, right? I mean, I'm throwing everything out there. I'm throwing everything out there because you have to.
Yeah.
You have.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's one story. I've got a whole different history, Eric.
Let's hear it. That's why we're here. Now, Here it is, Bob. Here's what I was talking about. Now, Uncle Pennybags. Now, where did Fox even get that idea?
Right.
And then I'm going to show this picture that you sent me. The idea. Now, before this, guys, there's something I do want to debunk really quickly. There's an idea that the reason that people remember him with the monocle or the monocle is because in 1916, let me show this picture up real quick, and then we're going to go into where the real design is. But I want to bring this up because this is 1916 before your picture of 1919. Hold on, Mr. Hold on. Let me pull this up. Okay, let me pull this up. Now, an idea on why people remember this is because of Mr. Peanut. Okay, now Mr. Peanut was, I had to read my notes, 1916. Mr. Peanut was introduced in 1916 and kept smiling through 2 world wars, the Depression, and frightening white mold rot crisis of 2012 that threatened his crunchy kind. Mr. Peanut's death reduces the number of monocle wearing mascots in pop culture. Now, they're saying that people remember Monopoly because of Mr. Peanut. Now, I don't like that one. And then the reason
because it's a worldwide distribution game, and over here in Europe they didn't have Mr. Peanut.
In Australia, didn't have Mr. Peanut. Also, come on. Dude, we didn't even get to have TV until the later 80s. I didn't know who fucking Mr. Peanut was. It wasn't like Mr. Peanut toys in the stores. Now, so if somebody says, Eric, you probably crossed the monocle with Mr. Peanut. No. Dude, we were too poor to even were able to afford to buy a Mr. Peanut nuts, What? Now the
we walked 30 miles in the snow just to get to school. We couldn't afford no peanuts.
And like you said, Bob, in other countries, Mr. Peanut wasn't even there. So
wasn't even there.
Mr. Peanut. Now, for me, I say it was Piglet from the TV series because I watched the Batman series. I watched that series than fucking Mr. Peanut. Now, a lot of people made a big deal about that stupid commercial that he died. They're trying to slap the face of the ME community. No, they did not. It was just a joke. They had fun. They're making money. It was nothing about slapping the face of the Mandela effect. So that is...
I'm going to disagree with you. I think that was a deliberate... Because, Eric, only reason why I'm disagreeing with you on that one is because they also did one on Humpty Dumpty. And anybody with the Mandela effect knows that, or whatever effect you want to call it, knows that Humpty Dumpty also has a significant Mandela effect in it. And they also ran ads on Humpty Dumpty. So I go, well, why are you picking blatantly the things that have changes in them, Mr. fucking business people? Now, I'm just saying, Eric, you're probably right. But
to me, you got that right. Now,
that was a
show where they made an insane person
Yeah.
Mandela effect, and that movie. Yes, that's like that's like turning up. But the whole Mr. Peanut thing has never been nothing to me. It just hasn't. It just I don't care about Mr. Peanut, and people who care about it watch it on purpose just because they wanted to add it with the Emmy so badly or something. But to me, Mr. Peanut is irrelevant in that thought process of that's why we're thinking of MONOCLE. Mr. Peanut is out. That's debunked. That is stupid. That is like now Guy Fawkes created off the image of this guy.
Yeah. JB. Yeah.
Here, you see him? That's J.P. Morgan.
J.P. Morgan. Now,
Bob, tell us about this guy. Tell us about J.P. Morgan.
Well, J.P. Morgan was a multi-billionaire that during the Great fucking Depression went ahead and started buying all the property out from everybody, just buying everything. Now, remember, people, back in that time, you didn't have an opportunity to get a loan. You didn't get loans to buy property. You had to buy it with cash. All property purchased back in those days were with cash. Home Slice right here had straight up raw fucking fresh ass green cash. So he bought everything from cash. As soon as the market took a dump, this shithead went ahead and bought everything. Just perfectly planned. If you want to say it's that way, I don't know what conspiracy camps people run from. But yeah, J.P. Morgan was a slime ball, and he wasn't really a slime ball. He just had a lot of money, and he went ahead and bought all property. So a lot of people, when they thought of the game, when the idea of the game came around, they thought of this guy with the property, buying up during the recession, bought up all the damn properties. Eric, we had a family, the Wood family. Remember in Oklahoma, we had a family, great-great-great-grandfather was a banker, lost the bank, lost the property. In fact, there's a place in Oklahoma called Woodville. Was it Woodsburg? Is it Woodburg or Woodville? Woodburg anyway.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah. So our family went under. So here's me and Eric on fucking YouTube's now with no money. Anyway, so yeah. So this guy was they thought to be the idea. Now Eric keeps bringing up the name Dan Fox. Now I'm going to rebuttal that. I don't think it was Dan Fox. Dan Fox was a collaborator. Now me being crazy ass sleuth that I am as an anthropologist, I come up with a name, Eric. I want you to type this name in. His name was, I'm going to use his initials, F.O. Alexander. F.O. Alexander.
X.O.
F as in Fox.
F.O.
Alexander. You got F.O. Alexander?
F.O.
You can see F.O. Alexander, Eric, was a famous cartoonist from multiple newspapers.
This one, I got an African American woman on my cover.
I don't know, but you see
hold on. There's a picture. Hold on. Oh, that's the picture you sent me, or in the article of. I know what you're talking about. Here, hold on.
Well, also to the right, you see that stamp on there. He actually has a stamp.
Yeah, that's the one I'll show. I got that here. Is it this one?
Alexander.
There it is.
Was a famous. Yeah. See that stamp? That's the guy who did Pennybags or Moneybags, whatever, or Pennybags, whatever. That guy who did the stamp. Now that guy was contacted by the company. This guy, F.O. Alexander, he did all these different comic strips for newspapers. So he went there to work with Fox, with that Dan Fox guy to come up with images. Now, he didn't make a dime off of it. It was like a little favor. He thought it was just for a small-ass game. He didn't think nothing of it. Now, he works for newspapers. So this guy is the one who did Pennybags, whatever, because this guy... all his satire is about, if you look at his satire, it's about aristocrats, the bourgeoisie.
There's a hat.
All his stuff is about bourgeoisie. This is all he did in the newspapers. He also did a, where's it at? He also did a dirty ass magazine. Where the hell is it called? I forgot it. He also did one called like the Tijuana Bible, which is like it's a little booklet of dirty stuff, dirty comics. He did dirty comics. F.O. Alexander. Yeah.
And the funny thing is, with all his comics, there not one of his comic that I see the hat, but none of his comics there was a monocle in it. Interesting.
I don't know. He did a couple of things. So whatever's showing, we don't know. I don't know. I can't. I'm just telling you, he worked on it.
I know. We're just looking at the history. We're trying to figure out, like you said, clues and stuff.
Yeah. Also, the original creator was supposed to be some girl, not a guy, a girl. Her name was Elizabeth Magie, and she was the first one to come up with the game. The idea. This is what the theory goes, and this is the local narrative. I do after doing research. You guys believe it? You don't have to. I don't fucking know. Everything to me is fake. But anyway. She come up with a game. The original game was called the Landlord's game. She came up with it in 1903, the Landlord's game. So she was supposed to be the original one that came up with Monopoly. And then later on, they bought it. Somebody else got credit. I don't know. The brothers, whatever, got it. They took the credit for it. Not Elizabeth Magie, the other in 1903. They took the idea and come up with it. And then they invented it, whatever. I don't fucking know. They claimed, and then they hired Dan Fox, and they hired F.O. Alexander first to come up with some cartoon characters for the game, and then Dan Fox was supposed to be another participant in other parts of the game, like the jail guy and everything. So it's all bullshit to me anyway. But yeah, so these are also lead characters in the game, and old dickhead himself. Morgan. Oh, Morgan. He wore now. Put up a picture of J.P. Morgan. J.P. Morgan did have a monocle. He did have monocles. That's what he's supposed to look like. Now look at the resemblance between him and J.P. Morgan. There we go. So he's always has a monocle hanging. There you go. You see the monocle he has?
There's two. Well, it's almost like a glass.
Yeah.
There's two.
Back at that time, Eric, I mean, I worked at the History Museum, and back at that time, they didn't just put them on they did it on their face, but they often held it up with one eye. So they'll hold up one monocle. At that time, I worked in museums. They'll take the monocle on there. See, there he is again. That looks like Pennybags. And he always has a monocle the glasses hanging around his. In my time, I remember him. I'm wrong. He had just a monocle hanging around his neck, but now he's got two lenses hanging around his neck, and he would hold one up. And so that was the idea that Alexander, which is a satirist, would have picked up on, who did all his comics about these bankers.
This is the thing. Yeah. How do we don't know? I mean, okay. Like you said, in this time, like a lot of people had like the monocles, and I get that. Yeah. You and I get that. Now, when they sell products, nowadays we have commercials on TV, images on iPads, phone. But back in those days, images are sold through newspapers and magazines. Yeah. Because not everybody had a TV, so they didn't really have commercials. Yeah. There could have been pictures and images of trying to sell this game like a J.P. Morgan look, and maybe there could have been a picture he had a monocle that was never on the game board, but it doesn't mean it wasn't used as a commercial. I mean, that's a possibility too. Yeah, well, they wanted to mimic at the time. Okay, let's put it this way: it wanted to mimic.
He was not loved. He was only loved in the rich circles, but all the poor people were poor. Now, remember. The game was invented to teach the common people about business. The original game, it was called the Landlord's game in 1904 to teach the regular folk that the men in corporate circles and how to do business and how to do business and basically it's a layman's game to learn how to do business. These are sent out for people that were in poverty. So they would buy them, and it's to teach the layman how to buy property and do business. This is what this game originally was for.
This is what it said.
Ironic like that.
That's what it said. His likeness appeared on the game box lid, game instructions, and currency according to Orban's. Rick, Uncle Pennybags of the American version of the game Monopoly is modeled after American progressive era businessman J.P. Morgan.
Yeah.
So that is a fact that in the American board game, they image him from him. Now that's interesting, Bob. For the American version, what did Pennybags look like on the UK version?
That might be where it's. Remember, I have a theory. My running theory is about how European spellings and European things are getting confused in American things. That's why we say if the spelling's a Mandela effect. Now, if you go to Europe, it's not misspelled. It's the way the Europeans always spelled things. So we have a lot of European influence onto the game. So we might have another European stamp on the American Monopoly.
And remember, there was a Rick Uncle board game too. Stock market game back in the day.
Yeah. Now, here's a weird thing. Now, J.P. Morgan, Eric, I just want to say this. You guys, this doesn't mean anything. For those of you guys that are kind of like myself, it might mean something. Oddly enough, as weird as it goes, J.P. Morgan died in 3/31/1913. Again, J.P. Morgan died in 3/31/1913. I don't know. If it means something to you, if you're into the 13s, that's fucking weird for me. So yeah. Yeah. So I just thought that was weird when JP Morgan died. It seems a lot of these rich fuckers or whatever these, it's in the Bible. Like, was it forgive your debtors now? And then here's a banker, right? Forgive your debtors. That's another change. People are saying with the Mandela Effect community about Bible changes, forgive your debtors. It's a banker. But forgive your fucking banker, basically. Well, it goes back to J.P. Morgan, which died in 3/31/1993 or 1913. Yeah, whatever. So yeah, all of these little circles, it just keeps manifesting themselves in weird ways. Well, it's a European game you talked about, right?
Well, this is the weirdest thing. This is the weirdest. This is, I think, where it says in all the articles that we read, there was an American version and there was a UK in the 30s because they used London.
Yeah.
And they said that the American version based the mascot off of J.P. Morgan.
Yeah.
American version. But there is no pictures at all that I could find of the UK version.
But here's the thing. I have never fucking heard of a UK version of the Monopoly game. So
mystery, right? That's a mystery right there.
Mystery. So if maybe the UK version has them with the monocle, and then they've done away with, I don't know. And maybe the Americans does not. I don't know. I don't know.
It really is interesting.
But J.P. Morgan did have a monocle. He did have glasses, matte glasses. He used it. So that was who they depicted it from, but now he doesn't have one. Now, again, we've got a blur because now you said it came out in London first.
Yes. Yeah.
So I'm going to be doing some research on the side here while we're doing this. I'm going to find out about the London version. I'm staying on. I'm just going to be typing some stuff here. So I'm going to try to find if there's anything on this London board. What's this London Monopoly board thingy going on?
Yeah, it's strange.
Yeah.
And I think maybe all the codes that we're getting for this is to research that.
Well, again, I'm not just saying this, guys. A lot of the American spellings they're calling Mandela effects are in fact, thanks to Tony for helping me out with the European spelling, saying, "Oh, this is the way we spell it in Canada," and over here in Europe, this is the way we spell it in Europe. And then America's like, "We never spelled it this way. We spelled it the other way." Well, now you have the European spelling in America. Why the hell is American having any European spelling for anything? That's where a lot of people are getting it confused. Well, they're not really getting confused. They don't remember any European spelling. Same thing again. I talked about with when I worked at Fort Lewis Historical Museum in the Army. There was Army soldiers in the 1800s wearing European uniforms, which is not. No, they didn't. So here we go again. with a European influence on Monopoly.
Well, this ain't old. This is old. I'm trying to find an old picture, but Mayfair parking lot. Hold on, what's this right here? Is this a night? Hold on, what is this? London Underground. Ace Hotels, London Underground. Oh no, that must be a newer version. Okay, that's a newer version. Okay. Now here's a Monopoly board image. .org.uk. Is this it right here?
Is this the 1903 original London Monopoly board? The original London, you're saying?
It says Monopoly board, and one. Let me click on it and see if there's an article with it.
Can you make that damn thing bigger? I want to. Yeah. See if it.
Let me remove this. I got something bigger.
Because I just why would they make one for London before they would make one for the States?
Places on the Monopoly board. So this is a London game right here. Now it doesn't tell me what year that this one is.
Well, while you're doing that, I'm also researching this infamous London Monopoly board. We'll get some fucking answers on this thing. Try to find some answers. I'm trying to, because I've never heard of it distributing in London before the States.
It's for London. See, you can see the names. It's all in French or whatever.
Well, it'll be English if it's London.
Yeah. Well, I mean, this is. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, you're right. Isola Road, Pennoville Road. Yeah, I just don't recognize.
No, this is all London streets, I think.
Yeah, all London streets. So this is what it looked like, but it just doesn't tell me what year that this one is. And then I'm trying to. I see the hat. I see the ship.
Well, the problem is according to the research here, each country had their own board. So basically, just like the United States, and whatever province you live in, they had their own.
Before they went to Atlantic City.
Well, you're going to be hard pressed to find the original London board. If it actually came out originally for London, I don't know if it's misinformation online. Eric, I don't honestly know. I've never heard of anything being distributed to London before the States for Monopoly, man. So I'm researching right now.
And that's the only thing you can really do. It is interesting because, I do
know that, again, there's a crossover. There's a lot of European stuff ending up in America's history. What the fuck? It's like a fascist at the White House. There's no fascist in the White House. Here we go. Okay, I got some information here. Let me find this. Okay, so the Leeds firm of Waddingtons didn't publish Monopoly over here until the 1936. This is London. So the Leeds firm Waddingtons did not publish a Monopoly over here until 1936. But Victor Watson, Waddington's general manager, got his first copy on Friday in December 1935. And by Monday, he'd signed a deal with Parker Brothers to license the game in the UK. And this is 1935. So here it is. I'm reading the article. So yeah, okay. So 1935 is when he signed a deal with Parker Brothers for the Monopoly game. And I imagine by doing so, they got them distributed over in London with London streets and probably different game pieces as well.
Well, I have to, because London, if you live in London, right, New York City, you probably know Hollywood, but you're not going to know fucking Atlantic City. Maybe Atlantic City. But on average, people are not going to know Atlantic City that well in London.
Well, that's probably why they've got the cannon. I can see London with the cannon. I can see London having the cannon. I mean, they've got a lot of cannon symbology here, and a lot of artifacts still out with the old cannons and stuff. So yeah, that would make sense for London. So if America ended up with the cannon, I don't remember no fucking.
What? The longest Monopoly game played on record in a marathon lasted 70 straight days.
Wow, that'd be fun. Actually, that would be fun. I'm not joking. I would do that.
Yeah.
I'd play Dungeons and Dragons for that long. Hell yeah, I would do it.
And then Monopoly Junior came in 1990, so that's when they really started to go. I mean, but so everything that you're learning, because it's fun to learn the history of why I think it's even a Mandela effect. But even with today, are you comfortable to say that this is a 100% Emmy effect for you? Are you like?
Well, of course it is. Yeah, there's. Oh, I had the game, so it was on the front cover of my game. He had the fucking monocle. Well, hold on, let me read this real fast, Eric. Hold on. Here's another one for London. The first foreign edition was the British game. Okay, here we go. The first foreign edition. Oh, well, the first foreign edition was the British game. There's the catcher. The first foreign edition was a British game with London streets, followed swiftly by versions in France, Germany, Holland, Sweden, Denmark, Belgium, Spain, Switzerland, Italy, and Austria before it spread all around the world. Let's see, what white? Let's see, what white and I plan to do. Okay, anyway, so that was that one. Yeah, so they 1935 is when they signed it to London, and then from there it exploded all over the like a big wad all over the fucking back of the turtle. So yeah, and then you had different game pieces for each place. So there's the confusion on that. Okay, yeah. Other than that, he had a monocle. I mean, I'm just trying to figure out the other weird shit. So yeah, here we go. Here we go. So the history of Monopoly is pretty big, pretty in depth.
It is.
Yeah.
And I can't sit here with confidence to say this one is an Emmy for me because I don't remember covering what I liked. And I remember watching the Penguin from the Batman series before the game, so I could have crossed it. Now, you remember him wearing it, but it doesn't mean... Yeah,
because I had the game that I played Monopoly. So.
But with everything that we're learning, the number 13, 33, the 666 part, now that would make sense if somebody else invented and they're giving him the credit, that maybe the 666...
Yeah, a little bit of the 666 in there.
But
also, Eric, hold on. The earliest known here we go. Cool. The earliest known version of Monopoly, known as the Landlord's game, was designed by an American Elizabeth Magie, and first first patented in 1904. First patent 1904, but existed as early as 1902. And Monopoly later on was Anyway, so we. But it's really weird with the lady thing. Now I'm going to say this right now. Here's another weird.
Hey Bob, what's her name again? Elizabeth what?
Maggie. In 1904, Elizabeth Magie in 1904 was the original inventor of the Monopoly game, but she didn't call it that. She called it the Landlord's game to teach the common folk about corporate bullshit, businesses and buying real estate, because it was kind of a coup. She did it to teach the common people how to buy real estate, because old JP Morgan was buying it up. All the rich guys were buying it with raw cash. So she was trying to teach people how to buy their own property at that time, which is really cool. And again, I see a lot of in history, people calling it Mandela effects, but I see a lot of famous females in history popping up with lots of different discoveries that I've never heard of before.
Is this Leslie Magie? Because it says Leslie Magie, American game designer. Elizabeth J. Phillips was American game designer, writer, feminist, and Georgist. She invented the Landlord's game. The precursor to the Monopoly to illustrate the teachings of the progressive era economist.
Yeah. So she was. So she was the original inventor of Monopoly. Now a lot of people are probably going, I don't remember her at all. Yeah, I don't either. Okay, I'm not gonna lie to you, I don't either. But
I'm gonna look up. I'm gonna type in images of the Landlord's game.
The Landlord's game. Yeah.
The Landlord game images.
Yeah, let's see what we got here. Let's see if she's got. Well, of course, Pennybags didn't come too much later in another invention by another company.
I'm just want to see if there was like
if there's any characters in there to resemble it.
Oh, hold on. Oh no, hold on. Not that one.
Yeah, find her.
That one. I got the actually image page. The image.
So guys, we're trying to do is we're having a fun time breaking things down. We're breaking it down. We're breaking it down.
So that's the Landlord game.
There's the Landlord game, and she's on there. That's cool.
Yeah, that's why I was trying to see if there was like a monocle in this game, but that's what the Landlord game looked like.
Oh shit!
Yeah, it's almost identical to Monopoly.
So look at this. So this is the game that came out before.
Is the Landlord game casual? Yeah. So technically, the inventor stole this idea. Dude, this is like a.
Well, no, the inventor invented it, but they stole it from the inventor.
Bill Gates and Steve Jobs stole all their programs from Xerox. This is like the original crooks, where they stole their idea from this woman, because the guy probably thought nobody's gonna buy a game from a woman. And remember, this is back in the 30s and 10s and stuff, where women didn't have a lot of rights.
They didn't have any rights, so they stole it from her. Yeah, then they added. Then of course they brought over F.O. Alexander, which is a satirist, to do Pennybags, and also to work with that other guy, that 666 guy, Fox, which comes out to 661 or 666, whatever you guys. I started to look at the old parchment for 661, which technically comes out to 13, by the way.
Yeah, Queen of Swords. Yeah, they stole the game. I mean, it's right there.
Somebody else
didn't know this until this show. Look
how ladies feel good about it. Feel good about it. We're
a game called Prize Property. That is a super fun game.
No, I don't remember Prize Property. It sounds good though. I don't remember. Again, I went to school for archaeology, anthropology, so I try to do research and try to break this thing down as best I can without just saying it. But here we go. Here's the original game. Now, this was to teach the common people, that was her goal, about buying real estate. Of course, as we know, the rich fuckers took it over, and then they've changed things around. And then, of course, they've got Pennybags with they originally had the monocle, but now you don't have the monocle. To me, he always had a monocle. Always. They had so many movies that depicted Pennybags with a monocle.
Wow.
Yeah.
This is crazy. This is
another in this reality, there was another female that got overlooked. That was the original inventor. It's the same thing as like African Americans that had invented things that white people had taken over and said they invented it.
I'm gonna put this in the chat. Because this is interesting. This is the history, the Monopoly game history, the Landlord game history. And if you look at it, the Landlord game, 1903 to 1904, Elizabeth Magie, 1904 present. Okay, 1903 called Landlord. The game was also Monopoly duplicate from the Magie's cloth design. And then in 1906, Economic Game Company, New York. I guess they owned it then. Look, hey Bob, you know how there was a Dan Fox? 1913, Brewer Fox, a Brewer Rabbit, London, England, original name, Landlord's Game, Anna, Scotland. There's a Brewer Fox. I wonder if a Brewer Fox is related to a Dan Fox.
I don't know.
Monopoly, 1916, whatever that means. Monopoly game. I'm trying to look anything that's evidence here. Landlord game, 1924. Elizabeth Magie Phillips. Electronics, finance. Okay, Monopoly, Atlantic City Quicker, Monopoly, Todd Orlich, rules as taught by Todd and referred to Daryl.
Yeah.
I'm trying to see if there's any like in Landlord game, 1939, Parker Brothers. So even the Landlord game went to Monopoly.
Yeah. They sold out to the man, and the man got it and changed it all around. Now, Eric, I'm sending you got an email, and it's going to show a clip. It's going to show a clip of a woman wearing the outfit, Pennybags, the way I remember the outfit being worn. and she's in a courtroom with the CEO of Google. So I want you to, or no, not, I think it's Google. Yeah. So see if you can find that. Can you find that?
Oh, you're talking about the picture of the guy in the background?
Yeah. See
yeah,
if you
I already have that. I already have that in a tab. I'll bring it up.
Show the people this one. Now, this woman that's doing this, she works for a nonprofit. That's a woman. She works for a nonprofit. And this guy in front is Google. And he's another slimeball in court about, just taking over the market and just kind of fucking people over in the process. Monopolizing. He was monopolizing. So she's in the background with the monocle as Pennybags. Is a whole little short clip there. I don't know if you want to play it or not, but she's maneuvering herself in the background on camera for people to see. She helps small business owners. There she is in the background. She kind of moves us.
I'm taking the volume off just so it won't get copyrighted. Here, actually, I'm going to pause just in case it won't get copyrighted, but I'll just forward it. And you can see her, with the eyes right there. That's kind of funny.
Yeah, she's got the monocle, and she's doing the monocle, and she's trying to get her face in there. And
there's the monocle. She puts on the monocle.
Yeah, passive protest. So she's wearing it. So she remembers the Pennybags with the monocle. So she's doing it enough to where she's in court doing it, so people can recognize who she is as a character. No,
I think I'm going to break you down. I think this whole experience of talking about Monopoly and thinking it with a clear head, and stop using fake residue from the internet stuff that we figured out. I think the message that somebody's telling us is we think of Bill Gates and Steve Jobs as the biggest computer thieves in the world.
Intellectual property thieves.
They're thieves,
yeah.
But I think this is telling us, look at the codes, look in the history, because you'll find out that this was not the first time that somebody did it at this level. Because remember, before computers, board games and stuff were the entertainment. Was like you go to the store and buy a computer. It was your iPad. It was board games. This is telling you how this person stole Monopoly idea almost identically from the Landlord game, but just changed the name of the streets, changed the name of the pieces. God, you got yourself a board game, and because you're a man, I'm not saying this man hater or woman hater, because it's coming from a man, you're able to sell it more because people didn't look at a woman like, this woman doesn't know about economics.
Yeah,
he ain't smart enough. You know what I mean?
It's as bad as the guy who invented what was it? Victoria's Secret, and then they bought it off of him for $1 million, and then they made billions of dollars off Victoria's Secret. And then he ended up committing suicide. So big business always steps on the small guy, and then takes the patent and changes it and uses it. I mean, we're in a place now, and this, I call it, in this matrix reality, whatever you call it, is I see nothing but thievery of intellectual property, and then people reclaiming it and repainting it with a new picture. I'm seeing it continuously. For those of you with the Mandela effect, for those of you who think you have the Mandela effect, for those of you quantum jumping like myself, and for those of you my primary audience, get the fuck off drugs. Yes, a lot of intellectual property in this place is being hijacked. You tell me why, but we're seeing it now. Yes. The evidence is coming out, and you're seeing the poor people that got themselves hijacked.
She got hijacked.
She got her game stolen. So the fact that the monocle isn't there, Eric, caused you and me to go do some research to find out that this poor lady got her intellectual property fucking taken. Now, she didn't get no money. She just got it taken. They took the idea.
Well, she wrote, what's the point? The point is, you can't trust anybody. You got an idea, you better run with it, because who you think are your friends are going to steal it right underneath of you and don't give you credit for nothing.
Well, that, and I see the point is from doing research on her is that she was trying to come out with a game that helped the people, common person, learn about buying real estate. Because back at that time, you didn't get loans from banks. You just got cash. You had cash. You bought property. She was trying to teach the common people how to do it. She was helping and somehow she got herself stepped on.
They call dollar signs instead of
stepped over, and then these guys made millions of dollars, and this poor gal probably got nothing. I mean, she got nothing. She got no. But now, for some reason, the reality comes out that her story is being told, and Eric and I are telling this gal's story. You know, that's a shout out to feminists out there. Good for
That is. It is. It tells you behind every man there's a good woman, and like I said, women. No offense to men, women are smarter than men, and it's just men. Bob, I'm sorry to say that. I think on average, it's because a woman really thinks things through than a man does. Let's be honest. A woman thinks things a lot more than a man does. And while she was using it to help people, it was man who saw and said, I can make $1 off of this. I can make money off of this. And that's the history of everything.
No, but this is pretty good. Again, we're just trying to break down. Yes, he had a monocle for me, guys. Yes, it's a Mandela effect. We want to call it. Yes, but some people it's not. Never had it. I get it. That's cool. That's fine. I'm not here to argue that. Absolutely. It's just interesting. We got some information about the real Slim Shadys. Please stand up. Please stand
up. Monocle, real or not, it got you to this point to learn this because we never knew this.
Well, that you learned about J.P. Morgan. J.P. Morgan, which was at the time multi-billionaire. The Morgan Bank, J.P. Morgan Bank. You got to think about that. This guy, it brought light to him as a tyrant, as all banker tyrants in this place. This is what we are now. Again, this is just a comic book, people. YouTube, don't take any offense to anything. We're just simply having entertainment only conversations. I'm sure JP Morgan was a beautiful person with an excellent attitude. Perfect in every way.
Yeah. Oh, wow, man. We learned so. What's this Suzanne wrote? It's like Zuckerberg, no way he invented anything. Believe the college roommates who claim he stole their idea. Well, remember, MySpace was out before Facebook. There was MySpace. And he basically just took the idea of MySpace and made it more sexier for young people, for the colleges and stuff, because that's what he did. It's young people who are more into computers and stuff than an older person. So it's like it's like Japan, Japanese, Chinese. They take American invention, they make it better and smaller. They make it better and smaller.
Yeah, well, and again, those guys that Zuckerberg did steal it from, yes, they did. They stole it from him. They did get compensation for it, and they didn't give them compensation for nothing. There's definitely something there. Well, when there's smoke, there's fire. So that
I understand that he didn't really technically. Okay, in court you could say kind of stole it, but stole it or not. Those guys did not invent Facebook. They didn't even know how to do fucking code. Yes, they paid him, but it was still invented by his group. It wasn't invented by those group, because the whole idea of they hire him is because what he did in college and made that program where he was showing where people could vote on 2 girls. That was all from him. So those rich little pricks, I'm going to be on the side of Zuckerberg. They don't deserve shit, because the only reason they hired him because he invented the voting on the 2 girls thing.
Yeah.
That's me. That's just me.
I'm going to read this off, Eric. I'm going to read this little section off for people out there that listen to. This is the 16th Amendment of our Constitution. To the United States Constitution allows Congress to levy an income tax without apportioning it among the states on the basis of population. It was passed by Congress in 1909 in response to an 1895 Supreme Court case of Pollock versus Farmers Loan and Trust Company. The 16th Amendment was ratified by the requisite number of the states on the federal on February 3rd, 1913. February 3rd, 1913, and effectively overruled the Supreme Court's ruling in Pollack. So there was 16th Amendment. I want to make sure I read that out for you guys to understand what some of these things that are going on out there. And so far, and here the weird thing, the reason why I read that off is because J.P. Morgan himself, after the 16th Amendment was signed, Eric, after that 16th Amendment was signed, he died in 1913. Now, it was signed in 1913, and J.P. Morgan died in 1913 after the 16th Amendment was signed. It just seems like a weird-ass overlap. It just seems a lot of things with the 13s, it seemed kind of unusual that 16th Amendment was signed in 1913 and J.P. Morgan died in 1913 after that thing was filled out. And so
here's something that I'm reading right here. Is this it? Right here.
Yeah.
About Maggie. Maggie filed a legal claim for her Landlord's game in 1903, more than 3 decades before Peter Parker began manufacturing Monopoly. She actually designed the game as a protest against the big monopolist of her time, people like Andrew Carnegie and John D. Rockefeller. So, like everything like you were saying, the game was designed because of those people. Let me see here. Man grabbing, but I mean everything you already said. But it was a game designed to protest to show that how the system works. She was showing exactly how the system works.
Well, here's the thing about that. Now, guys, I just said the 16th Amendment, and a lot of you are going, what the fuck does he mean by saying the 16th? What does the 16th Amendment have to do with the monopoly, man? I'm freaking lost. This is stupid. Well, listen to fucking this. Okay. Now, before the 16th Amendment, now listen, before the 16th Amendment, rich people paid no taxes. You understand that? The rich, J.P. Morgan paid no taxes. Okay, they paid no taxes. The Landlord's game was about the rich. You understand that? The rich, before the 16th Amendment, which I just read off, rich people paid no taxes. When they purchased land with cash, the common folk could not get a loan. They paid no taxes on it. And so the game that she invented was all about the landlord game. The Landlord's game is about the rich people. It's about the rich. It was a satire, a game, a way of telling people about the rich. And they're still doing it, except right now it's China. So China's doing it. And of course, the government's getting all the fucking taxes off that. But the 16th Amendment, and then he dies in 1913, 1903, which actually comes out to 13 anyway. But 1903 is when he died, right after they signed that, because he would have to pay taxes on his purchases after that. And rich people had to start paying taxes after that. Not much. Of course, we know now that we keep these assholes in the office. They're not paying no taxes. The rich don't pay taxes. The poor do, and the middle class do. Well, the middle class do.
And then and then at the end of the day, everybody sells out to the big man.
Well, yeah.
Bob, reading more about her, man, it's almost like a movie. I mean, it's when Maggie, she patented the game. Maggie's first patent having expired in 1923. Maggie decided to attempt to regain control by applying for another patent on September 23rd, 1924. The second patent was issued for the Maggie for the Landlord game. Okay, then Robert Barron had Parker Brothers design its own version, Fortune. That's where Fortune came out before negotiation to purchase her patents in case the discussion fell apart or she sold to another potential buyer. David Knapp, publisher of finance, Maggie held the patent until 1935 when she sold it to Parker Brothers for only $500. They sold it for $500, and then in 1935 is when Parker Brothers bought Monopoly from the other guys. So get this, Bob. They bought Monopoly, and they bought the Landlord game, and then that's where the real Monopoly game came out.
Yeah. She got shasted on that one, man. Shysted or whatever.
What that sounds like? It sounds almost identical to the story of like the KFC chicken, where the Colonel didn't know what kind of rights he was selling to the corporation, where when the corporation took over KFC and they started making chicken on a branch, the Colonel made almost no money off It's almost like it's like even the McDonald's. There's that movie called The Founder, where the guy kind of stole McDonald's underneath him by learning to own the land.
Yeah,
own the land, he owned the rental rights.
So, well, he became a landlord. Instead of becoming he became a landlord.
He bought the land of the original Monopoly people, not Monopoly, McDonald's had it on. So they were paying him double jeopardy.
Double dipping. Yeah. So, yeah.
Oh, man.
A lot of to me, that's why those of you with the whatever effects you have, if you see Bible changes, that's why I always say that there's the prayer that comes out that forgive your debtors. It used to be forgive your trespassers. And now it's forgive your debtors for that reason, for this reason right here. When it comes right down to the fucking pike, when it comes right down to it, you're going to be like, I got to forgive my debtors, not your trespassers, but now your debtors, because these guys are shysters, man. Shysters. Again, this is only a comic book. Nothing we say is real. This is simply a Matrix talk about a Sims game or whatever have you.
No, this was fun, man. This is exactly why you research everything about an ME effect, the origin, because you're gonna learn so much more than you ever thought.
Well, it changed for a reason. It's changed for you to do the research. Why? Why would it do that? What's the why? Why would it, okay? He just lost. Okay, he lost his monocle, but why? And I'm gonna start looking into this story, and then you start finding out about the original owner and the original the corruption, and then J.P. Morgan, and then the 16th Amendment that was signed in 1903. You know, I mean, come on, man. Or yeah,
it's like the old saying, right? The more things change, the more they stay the same.
Yeah,
you're right. Knew this, they'll find another way to screw you over. I mean, and guys, I'm not going to go too much further. I think we said everything beautifully in this. This was so awesome and so fun, and we're going to keep doing stuff like this, people. Just letting everybody know. What I do now is, just so everybody knows, I'm doing a podcast on these individuals, and then my next one is going to be on Ed McMahon, and I already shared some information with Bob. And then after the
podcast, I remember those commercials.
Yeah,
I remember him.
We're going to save all that, and after I do a podcast, and then we'll probably do a show like we did here based on that, and break it down even more, because there's a lot of great, interesting things about the whole storyline of Ed McMahon, which, I mean, I was already breaking down the origin. I'm not going to say anything about it here because we're going to save that for next week. That's going to be something for next week. But tomorrow we are back on normal time, and we're going to be talking. The show is called Close Encounters of the Gypsy Road Kind. So we're going to be talking about UFOs, different shapes, different designs. And with Bob's knowledge of airplane designs and everything, I wanted to see if any designs that Bob saw that were maybe, if UFOs are real or not, are taken off of UFO ideas, or were there some planes that looked like UFOs? So we're going to break down UFOs and all that tomorrow. So that's what we're doing tomorrow, UFO talk. And beyond that, guys, today was fantastic. It was fun. I never even thought, Bob, that we're going to learn about corruption.
Yeah.
And I think maybe could be the reason why
it changed.
Was set on purpose so you
can investigate it. So you can investigate that poor gal can get her credit. That's why there was.
And I think I'm going to retitle this show to represent that original game, so more people
The Landlord, yeah. The Landlord game.
More people can learn that, hey, Monopoly was stolen from this woman, the Landlord game. But at the end of the day, she did sold it to Parker Brothers, but we don't know if Parker Brothers strongholder for only $500 because that game is worth millions and billions.
Yeah, Elizabeth Magie, look up her original game and get the idea what she originally wanted everyone to learn.
Well, here, all they have to do is already put in the chat before.
Good.
This is the Wikipedia of that game, the Landlord game, and her history.
Yeah, I want people to learn what she intended people to learn from it. What she was intentionally trying to help people out, and they deliberately.
She was protesting against not the man. She was protesting against corporations.
Showing
on how the system works. So when you get older, you know how it works, and you can be part of it, and not let them have all the piece of the pie. This is great. So beyond that, guys, we'll see you tomorrow. And this was awesome today. So, all right, guys, we'll see everybody later.